Hello friends, and guess what time it is? It's time for Simply Saturday, where I get to show you a card that is fast and easy to make. My name is Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. For today's card, it's amazingly fast. This is a great card idea, especially for Christmas cards, if you need to make a bunch of them and you don't want them to take up so much time. So let me show you what we have. I'm starting with a card base out of cherry cobbler. Now it's interesting to note a lot of the projects that I've been doing for Christmas things are made with the Traditions of Christmas paper. And the red in these papers is not only real red, but it's also cherry cobbler. And I have not yet paired it with cherry cobbler. I've been using Secret Sea, Real Red, and Old Olive. And so today we're going to use cherry cobbler. All right, I also wanted to do a card front where the whole thing is pretty much covered by paper. So instead of a typical size for this one, which is going to go here on the front, I cut it a little bit larger. So this piece is 4 1/8 inch by 5 3/8 inches. So it's going to just about entirely cover our card front, which happens to be 4.5 inches, no, 4 1/4 inches by 5.5. So this is just a tiny bit smaller, and we're going to go ahead and put that piece on. This was the inspiration for the card. This poinsettia print paper that is quite busy, and to me, seemed like it would make a great background. So I'm going to place it on here. I'm going to look at all of my borders because there's just going to be a touch of cherry cobbler cardstock showing all around. All right, there we have that. It's just stunning even as it is. The gold in the paper is so beautiful. So because of that gold, I picked up a piece of gold foil. And this piece of paper measures 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This is just going to bring that pop of gold out a little bit more. Then I took a scrap of white cardstock and using the die, this is a die from Traditional Labels bundle. So you can see the Traditional Labels stamps are all words and the labels are all dies. So I'm using this die here from that bundle. Put it on my scrap of white cardstock and cut out the shape. Okay, we're going to stamp on this piece only. You'll see how fast this is going together. This is going to go together. This is all about the greeting, Merry Christmas, and that beautiful paper. Using cherry cobbler ink, I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas. Now, one thing that you might decide to do, and that would be to mount both stamps on one block. Let me get a large block out so that I can show you how that would work. All right, perhaps you would take a large block. This is an, wait, is it an F or an E? This is an E block. One thing that you could do if you wanted to is to put both stamps onto the one block and stamp them at the same time. So I could put Merry and Christmas onto the same block. Goodness. Let's do it the right way, maybe, and that would help. All right, Merry and Christmas onto the same block, and you could stamp it at once. This is a great option, and there's not really a good reason why you shouldn't. I will tell you one reason, and that's the reason I'm not going to do it, is I want my Christmas word closer to the Merry. And just because of the nature of the stamps, you can't really get it any closer than I've done here in the example. So instead of doing it all at once, I am going to stamp them separately. So I will have my Christmas mounted on this H block. And Mary is mounted on a C block. All right, and I'll show you on a scrap piece of paper. Oh, that's really a scrap. Look, it's all torn up. I'll show you on a scrap what I mean by this. I can stamp the Mary, and I will be able to stamp the Christmas right up next to it. In fact, some of the little loops overlapping, like so. All right, and you just can't get that look if the stamps are mounted on one block. All right, we're gonna do it, and I think I'm gonna stamp my Christmas first because I want it nice and low here, and that will tell me where to put my Mary. And there we have it. It's a very elegant looking tag. Can't get much easier than just stamping 2 words on a piece of die cut paper. We're going to go ahead and attach this to the gold piece. And only because the gold is a foil, I think that this would hold, but I'm going to put it on with my tear and tape. So I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of this, attach it to my die cut. And this piece now will go onto that gold foil. All right, this is ready to go onto the card, and I think with the simplicity and the elegance of it, it just needs to go right in the center. You certainly could make a case for doing it off center, especially if you wanted to add another element here, perhaps one of the poinsettias stamped and die cut. That would be beautiful. I'm going to be placing it right here in the middle, and I'm going to put it flat. You could pop it up with dimensionals. I'm envisioning somebody who is going to send 25 or 40 or 50 of these cards, make and send them. And so let's just go with flat. It'll fit in the envelope nicely without any extra space or weight. And then I do think it needs a little bling. You got the foil here, you have the foil here. I think it still needs one little element. And so for that, I pulled out 2 sets of embellishments that have gold in them. So this option is a gold sequin, kind of glittery. And this option, is also a sequin, just gold and shiny. I think we'll go with that. These are neutrals adhesive back sequins. I don't think that they're currently available. I think these were old. I think these are previously purchasable. So look in your stash and see what you have. Otherwise, I know that these little jeweled, let's see, what were these called? I have to remember what they're called. Traditional something sequins. You can get those, or maybe you have a gold embellishment already that you're dying to use. I'm going to use 3, and I'm just going to place them here on the designer series paper. I think I'll do it like that. Just one more little pop of gold. All right, I think we need a white piece to go on the inside of this. And so I did not pre-cut that. Let me grab it. All right, I'm just cutting paper, sorry for the little delay there. And then what should we do to decorate it? You know what? Sticking with our very classic look, let's add a strip of paper to this inside panel. And I want it to go from here to here. So this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut a strip of this that is 4 inches by, I think I'll do a 1/2 inch. Here, I'll use my trimmer so I can stay here on camera and do it while you watch. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch strip by 4. Attach that to our white piece. And then at this point, you have plenty of space to write your message, especially at Christmas. Perhaps you are writing personal messages on the inside, or I know a lot of people still do Christmas letters. And how sweet would that be to take your Christmas letter that you print, fold it up, and just insert it in this simple but elegant handcrafted card. I think that would be a lovely touch for Christmas. All right, putting this on the inside. And that is going to be a wrap on today's fast and easy card. If you don't know by now, I always put some information for you in the drop-down menu below this video. It has some ordering information. It's a reminder about the gifts that I send out for certain orders. There's also Amazon links down there for some of the other crafting tools that are my favorites that aren't necessarily Stampin' Up, and so forth. So if you enjoyed anything about this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that as well. I will see you next time.